What's up everyone, coming to you with a quick video on how to change your alternator on a Jeep. My battery light came on, all the lights came on, speedometer stopped working, so I'm going to show you what you need to do if you run into this problem. Here we go. Alright, so picking up where we left off on Saturday, came to find out that the Jeep needs a new alternator. So we had to go buy an alternator, and today I am literally going to try and change the alternator myself. So as you can see, I have the new alternator right here, and I'm gonna try to put it in the Jeep. This is the alternator right here. So we're gonna try to see if we could take this out. It should be pretty easy. You just need to unscrew this screw, this one right here, this one, take off this harness right here and unscrew the power to the alternator. Then we're gonna take that out, swap it out, and hook it back up. Also, don't forget your belt. So I'll put a video and let you know like what it sounded like before and how we determined that it went bad, and then we'll put the new one in and see if that works. Alright, so as you can hear, this is the sound that the alternator started making once I hopped in the Jeep, and I immediately knew something was off. For these bolts right here, you're gonna need a 5/8 socket wrench. That will fit on those ones to get those ones off. And then on this one, you're gonna need a 13mm. Before doing anything, you also want to disconnect your battery. So we're gonna try to loosen up the battery terminals, take those off. Okay, so the next thing we gotta do is loosen the belt. So to loosen the belt, you just put your socket wrench in here where the belt is, and then you just push down on it, and then that'll loosen the tension on your belt. You take the tension off of your what this shit called again? Alternator, and then you'll be able to have easy access. I would suggest taking a picture how your belt was, like, you know, structured on the situations. And yeah, we're gonna see if we could change this bad boy. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do is take off the bracket. So what you want to do is you want to take off this bracket. Then the next thing you want to do is take off this bracket. I'm sorry, this nut right here. I'm gonna tell you something. Whatever works for you, works for you. Do your own thing, you know? This is actually an interesting thing for me because I like to do shit and challenge stuff for myself that I never thought that I would have done, and here I am changing a fucking Jeep alternator, so go figure. Okay, if my memory serves me right, I think the guy said that you take off the power thing next, which that is the right thing. I'm gonna take that off, okay? Gonna get that power off of that bitch. Yeah, so we're gonna take the power off, which is this. Just pop that bad boy off, put that right there. And then I think the last thing we have to do, well, no, not the last thing. Several more steps. We gotta pull this up and take this off. And this is just like a little sensor, harness, whatever, for the alternator. So you wanna take off your power, your harness, you want to take out the bracket, you want to loosen the belt, and the only last two screws that I need to take out, bolts, is this bolt and this bolt. And you're going to need a 16 socket wrench to get those off. Okay, we're gonna try to take those 16s off. There we go, that's one. Damn ho. I would say that those two was probably like the hardest ones, but not like crazy. But trust me, if I could do this, anyone could do this, right? And yes, I am in the hood of the truck and I'm changing the alternator. So what's your excuse? Get out there and do that shit, period. I figured that this would have been a good way because, you know, every time I pass a Jeep, my first thought is, what is wrong with your Jeep? That's what I always say when I see a Jeep, just like an inside joke or whatever, because as long as, I mean, Jeeps are fun, but baby, how do y'all make these things? Y'all just throw them together or something? Because maybe every time you turn around, you need a part. Okay? These are the bolts. Yeah. So we're going to take those out. Boom. And now, I think that our alternator should be able to come off. Yeah. We got to try to figure out how to this shit out there. I think I got it. Alright, so we got our old alternator off and we got our new alternator. So now I'm gonna put this back on, follow the same steps that you did to take it off, and then you should be good to go. Alright, let's put the new alternator in, line it up, should just fall in place. Remember all of your wiring. You got this. Don't forget your harness thingy majiggy. Put everything where it's supposed to be. And I need to put my bolt back in. I'll put that bolt in. Then you get your longer bolt. Lock that back in. For mechanics to be charging people so much for these things, it's like, bruh, I get it, but then it's like, y'all really be charging people $700-800 to be doing these stuff, and this shit is so easy. Well, some things. So if you believe in yourself and you think like, bitch, I could do that, then what you waiting on, bitch? Change that alternator hole. So yeah, we're gonna get everything screwed back in and then I'll be back. Let me talk to y'all. I legit feel, could y'all see me? I legit feel like I'm a mechanic, bro. Like, this is making me feel so good that I can do this myself. Okay guys, so now that we got that back on, let's see what we need to do next. Okay, we got the two bolts in. That secures the alternator, right? You want to make sure you put back on your clip. Make sure that's clamped down. Your harness. We're gonna make sure we put the power back on, which goes right here. Boom. We're not gonna tighten everything up. We're just putting stuff back on. So power goes here, harness goes here, your two bolts goes right there, and then don't forget your bracket. your bracket have to go back on. So that goes here and here. Remember? Follow me, camera. Okay. And okay. I was confused for a second because I was like, oh, I have 2 bolts left. Like, what did I miss? But I forgot. This one came with one. Alright, but honestly though, if I must say so myself, this is actually a super easy routine, like I said. I don't know how challenging the belt is going to be once I get back over on that side. But for the most part, everything is already screwed in. Like I said, 2 bolts, power, harness, belts back on, and then we should have a running freaking Jeep. All right, so now that we got everything hooked up, we want to make sure our belt, god damn. Okay, so boom. Okay, so all I'm doing right now is just making sure I tighten everything back and making sure everything is secure. I figure I would have left the tightening for the last part because you want to make sure everything is hooked up properly. Boom. Sorry if I'm not holding the camera. Okay. Okay. Now we're putting our bracket back on. 13 millimeter. And then we're gonna make sure this is back on tight. Well, I could probably do that with my hands real quick. So honestly though, even though y'all seeing inside of a hood, bitch, tell me I ain't a mechanic. Okay, I'll wait. Okay, like I was saying, if you need your alternator changed, whether it be in a Jeep, bitch in a car, guess who know how to change your alternator? Me. Okay, so belt back on, bracket back on, harness back on, power back on, bolts back on. So I think right now the only thing we need to do is connect the battery terminals and get power back to it. And then we're gonna turn it on and see if we still get that same whining sound, and also see if the Jeep stays running, because that was the biggest problem. So let's hook up the battery and then we'll be right back. All right, so I got the battery all hooked back up. Alternator looks like it's in properly, good. Everything's connected the way that it's supposed to be. Checked all the belts and everything. Now let's go and see if we can start this baby up. Because the alternator changed, we might need to give it a jump, but we'll see. Yeah. So maybe the battery is still weak. I'm gonna try and give it a jump. As you can see, the Jeep isn't making that whining noise anymore. And it was definitely coming from the alternator. So I'm gonna take the cables off and we're gonna see if it stays running.
0, 1, 2, 3. Let's get started. Stop to me.